Welcome once again to this training on WebGIS development using Mapstore, Geoserver, and PostGIS. I'll be demonstrating on how you can build a WebGIS application using Mapstore, Geoserver, and PostGIS. Enjoy. So the first thing that you require is to have all your requirements available. So for our case, maybe just to understand a little bit about the framework, So the way WebGIS framework requires us to have a web server for this particular demo for our development purposes, we are going to require Apache Tomcat. Then for the database or the geodatabase, we'll be utilizing PostSQL and PostGIS. And then for web map publishing, we'll be utilizing GeoServer. And then for our front-end application, or what we call HTML and JavaScript front-end web application, we are going to require Mapstore. Now, for some, you can go up to open layers, but for this particular training course, we'll be utilizing Apache Tomcat, PostGIS, GeoServer, and Mapstore. So a little bit about front-end and back-end development. Front-end is a web page application that you see on your browser. And the back-end has to do with storing and retrieval of data from database, powering the application with data. So one who is able to initiate or execute both front-end and back-end is referred to as full stack developer or full stack development. So I believe that is quite clear. All right, so to start us off with our PostGIS, with our Apache development. All right, so for Apache, that is Tomcat. You can quickly navigate to this resource. This is the Apache Tomcat download page, and feel free to download the 64-bit if you're on Windows, but you can also utilize any other version depending with which platform you are working on. So for our case, I'll be working with Windows, so I'll go with 64 Windows bit. So for that, we also need the Mapstore files. So I've taken the liberty just to save us some time, and under this support files, I have our mapstore.war or WAR and the geoserver.war. And then we also have the Apache Tomcat. So step number one, we set up our web server. So for that, you simply need to run this on your server machine. So we have remote servers and we also have cloud platforms. So if you're just doing on a remote server, on a Windows remote server, then you just run this Apache Tomcat. I'll later show you how to use Docker containerization technology to deploy your web apps and your WebGIS framework on a cloud platform like DigitalOcean or any other like AWS. So let's continue with this one here. So I'm going to do a full install. So maybe okay. might want to leave out the examples. Then now, so when you're doing a web server, there are certain things that you need to understand, or parameters. These are the guiding principles. So for the connector port, it's currently at 8080, but you can always switch this to what really works for you. We can have it either at 8085, right, or at 8083, depending with what you need to set up. So we can create a shortcut for users, and for our username, now I want you to take note of our port. So our local host is going to be terminating, or be going to be broadcasting from this port 8085. So our username and password is admin, and then we can select next. So the next thing is to prompt for a Java runtime environment, which I've already installed under this file. And like we've said, this is on a server machine. So just click on next. And then the installation folder is going to be Apache Software Foundation Tomcat version 9.0. You feel free to use version 11. Yeah, the most recent one. For my demo, I'm going to use this version 9. And then we can go ahead and install. Right, it's done. Simply click on finish. Right, for this, I don't need much. So how do I know if my Apache is running? I'll simply ping it here. I'll call it localhost, and then it should be 8085. So we'll go with 8085. Let's see. There. All right. You can see Apache is running successfully. So the next bit is I'm going to install both Geoserver and Mapstore concurrently. So for this, we are going to require to access the installation file for Apache. And for this, you simply access it under your local disk C. And then under program files, navigate to Tomcat 9, and say continue. Now we have web apps. So this is where we are going to, let me just do this. Right. So we have our geoserver.war here, and we have our mapstore.war here. So I'll just drag them here, not really move. Let me copy them then instead. Begin, we are looking for the WAR files. So copy and then we paste. Okay. Now, we have some dependencies, all right? We have some dependencies. So we have jar files. Okay, we have these jar files. These jar files, I'm going to tell you what they are supposed to do. So to start your Tomcat server, you need to access a very important file And this one you get it under installation files. This should be under bin. So so under the Tomcat folder, we have the bin folder. In here, we have this file here, tomcat9w.exe. This file, you can create a shortcut and have it on your desktop. It's going to be used to either start or stop your Tomcat server. So for this, you can see it's still here. So I can either stop the service or start the service. So once you copy your files into Tomcat, that is the web apps, the next thing is to make sure our dependency files are also present. And for this, we are going to copy the 3 jar files located within the jar files folder provided with the training materials. So where do I get this? It's here down on the link. These files are here down the link provided below. So we require these three files. Okay, just copy them and navigate back to into the Tomcat lib folder. All right. So the Tomcat lib folder, we've seen the bin. Now let us look at the lib folder, libraries. And then you can see here we also have other files. These are Java runtime files. So I'll paste them here like that. And then the next thing is to restart our Tomcat server. So I can stop the service. And then we can just give it some few moments. Okay, so we can start it. There, I'll start it. So the server has started. Now this time, what I'll do, I'll just navigate to Geoserver. And then we can also access Mapstore. All right, so this means that our GeoServer installation is successful. You can see that we are here at the home page, the GeoServer landing page. I want you to notice that this is a broadcasting from my server here at localhost 8085. And then I also have my application library here, the Mapstore. It's a modern web mapping with open layers, leaflet, and React JS. Right, so currently it doesn't have anything. So let's see how to get this installed. Now, for most application, maybe a little bit background about this. For most applications, maps cannot be, how do I say it? Maps cannot be displayed natively, just like a normal HTML does. So we require to have a map server that help us convert it into a format that can be understood by HTML technology. So for this also, Mapstore is just the front-end application. So it requires our maps that are within our geo database, that is the PostGIS, to be served first to the geo server. So for this, I'm going to launch in, let me just maybe do, I'll do QGIS just for quick visualization of this. Okay, so I'm going to launch pgadmin. Pgadmin is an interface that allows us to do DBMS, database management, for Postgres databases. So I have two servers. I have Postgres version 12 and 17. Feel free to use whatever is currently at your disposal. So I'm just going to run this pgadmin here. Right, so I'm required to provide password. Right, I think that is the wrong one. So okay, okay. All right, there it is. So now I get to access the pgadmin. On the server panel, I have two servers. I'm going to navigate to the version 12. That's where my databases are. I'm going to provide, I'm currently using Postgres. So as a user, choose million, okay. I'll just do great. And there we have it. And you can see we have two databases. That is a default Postgres database and the FAO GDB or Geo database. So this one is spatially enabled, is able to carry spatial data. So the next thing that we want to look at is that we have some data inside Geo database. All right. So if you've not watched how to import data from QGIS into PostGIS, please watch our last demo, our previous demo on the same, just to get acquainted with this exercise. So our tables are sitting somewhere under schema, under FOGDB. This is where we find our tables. And you can see under the public schema, we should be able to see the various tables or the various data that is inside our Geo database. So with me here, I have a number of two of them. Like for example, I have this Kakuma tank here. I can right click and say view all data, all rows. Now, pardon me for this exercise. I'm not going to go more into SQL, but rather I'll just show you how the data pipeline is set up from PostGIS to Geoserver and then to the end application that is on Mapstore. So you can see we have access to our tank asset data in here. And then you also have this part here that says geometry, right? And you can see there's an eye icon next to it. So if I click here, you should be able to see the different, actually where this data was actually picked from or mapped on. So you can see this is a Kakuma camp. It's a refugee camp in Kenya. These are just the tanks that are there. And you can see from post pgadmin4 is able to load OpenStreetMap or open layers for better visualization within just your PostGIS interface. So there you have it. There you have it. So yeah, all right. So feel free to explore. Now with this is very good. I also have other think should be this one here. Let's view. So this is the data that we created during our GIS and remote sensing sessions. So it's not something new. You can see this is the change detection. So at this point, we want to also be able to build a WebGIS app that is able to visualize this change detection, right, for our field teams, so that our data can be utilized within the program and within the organization. So there it is, right? You can see they're actually greatly overlaying where we expect them to be. So there it is, right? So if I click here, you can see that is a large decrease. Maybe here, this is a small decrease. Don't worry about the symbology. That can be done later. So with this is fine. I can go directly into QGIS to view. If I wanted to add more data into my PostGIS, and then I need to load QGIS. But for this, I'm going just to maybe give it a pass. All right, so the next activity is to connect PostGIS with our GeoServer. So currently our GeoServer is here. It doesn't have any data loaded. So my default name should be admin. My default password should be the word GeoServer, but feel free to upgrade this, change this, update this because it's not secure. For now, for demo purposes, I'll just log in and then, yeah, this is our GeoServer is now going to help us visualize and display these maps on a normal web page. So the first thing that you are going to see is that under data, we have the layer preview. So the layer preview, it shows you all the layers that have been connected to GeoServer or loaded into GeoServer and then been made available for third or for our front-end applications like Mapstore and Open Layers. So this is what we have. So currently we don't have any custom data loaded or connected. So that's going to be our first part. So the first thing that you want to start is just to follow this order. You want to start with the workspaces. You want to create a workspace, and then you want to create a store, and then you want to add your layer, and then you publish it. You have to publish your layer. Okay, so you can also have layer groups and also custom styling. We are going to cover this, but for now, let us just see how do we connect data from PostGIS into. So I'm going to load two data sets. That is a Kakuma camp, and then I'm also going to load the NDVI anomaly map. Okay, yes, so we will switch to GeoServer, and if you are following our manual, it should be somewhere. So it's here. We start off with creating a workspace, and we go to the data section, click on the workspace option. So just give me a moment. There. All right. So we go to the data section, which is here. We go to the click on the workspaces, which is here. Okay. Now, these are the pre-existing workspaces. Now, workspaces, they control where your data is coming from. You can have a workspace for your project, for your department. It depends with how you want to have it. So for now, my workspace is just going to be fetching data from my PostGIS, from FAO PostGIS. So I'm going to give it a unique name. I'm going to say, add a new workspace. I'm going to say FAO. All right. I'll say, or I can just call it WebGIS. But of course, I'll just say FAO WebGIS like this. And then for the namespace URI, you can do something like this: www.faowebgis.com. All right. So we're going to say this is the default workspace, and then I'm going to save. So we now have our FAO WebGIS workspace. So all the layers that have to go into developing FAO WebGIS applications, we are going to store all them here. So you can have more than one still connecting to the same database. Feel free to explore. The next thing we need to do is to come under stores. We then create a store, all right? You can click on the FAO WebGIS just to see what it is, and you can see this is what we have created. So I'll switch to stores, and then I'll create a new store. Okay. Now my store is supposed to is like where is my data coming from? So it's coming from PostGIS. So I'll select PostGIS. If you had your package, the normal shapefile, you can use that. Yeah, for now, we just go with PostGIS database. Great. So I'm Our workspace is going to be associated with the FAO WebGIS workspace. Our data source name, we can call it WebGIS. I'm just going to call it FAO. All right, FAO. So I'll just say FAO PostGIS. Okay, say FAO PostGIS, and then localhost is going to 5432. Our database is going to be FAO GDB. If you're not sure, this is what we are referencing here, the FAO GDB, this one here. So just be on the lookout, and then the schema is public, the user, I'm currently using PostGIS, so all right, the password, I'll provide password for that FAO GDB PostGIS user. Okay, there. Maximum connections. Right, I'll just save like that. Great. Now, our store is created. I should be able to see it somewhere here. So you can see from this store that I've just launched, I'm able to access these different types of layers, right? So I'm going to start off maybe with one at the key Kakuma tanks here. We can publish this. Okay. So, oh yes, I need to provide something here. So title is like that, current keyword, I can say wash, right? I can say FAO, right? And say Fakuma. Thanks. So these are just some of the keywords you can use to search it. And then bounding the coordinate reference system. Remember what we said about CRSs? I'm going to compute this one from the data, and then under that long bounding box, I'll compute this from native bounds like this. So with that, it's ready, and then I'll just say save. Okay, and it's published. It's published. So if you come back here under layer preview, I can say FAO. I can see we now have FAO WebGIS Kakuma tanks. I can open this in open layers. And there we have it, right? So if I click maybe on any of this tank, down here below, you should be able to see that it has loaded a table. So the table is able to change based on what we are picking. So still elevated, this ferrocement and all that. So this is nice. This is very good. So the next thing that I need to do, we can also expose the other one. Can also publish. I think I'll say add new layer here. So I'm publishing a layer from FAO WebGIS, and this time I'll pick the NDVI anomaly, and then we can publish this. So yeah, same drill. I'll provide the keyword. I'll say NDVI. I'll say FAO. I'll say Ghana. I'll say Accra. Right, so compute from data, compute from native bounds, and then we say save. Great, and then it's ready here. So now I have two of them here. Great, so there. All right, it's there. Okay, so this is good. So the next step is to move into Mapstore. Now from Mapstore, if you're setting it up for the first time, there's one thing that you need to know. You need to first log in. So I'm just going to use the default, that is username admin. I'll later on show you how to create other user names. But for now, let's just use admin. And then we sign in. Great. So there is your Mapstore. So the first thing that there are three things that you can actually implement inside Mapstore WebGIS framework. You can create a new WebGIS map. You can also create a WebGIS based dashboard, and you can also create geo stories. So I'm going to start off by just creating a web map by just clicking there. All right. So when you click here, I get to have this template. All right. But first, I need to implement some principles here. Under map here, I'll need to create layers that will connect to our GeoServer. Now, remember, our GeoServer is running from the same machine, all right? So it should not have any problem with cost, right? So from here, we have this thing that says add layer. You can still access it by just coming here, and you can say catalog here under catalog. It will still do the same thing. So I'm going to set up a connection to our FAO. So what I'm going to do, I'll say add, and then we can do, now there are several ways you can add your map files. So the most popular one is WMS, Web Map Service, and then we have WFS, that is a web feature service. So one is very good for displaying and refreshing, it's very good, and the other one is very good for fetching the data itself. So I'm going to set both WMS and WFS. So in here, you can give it any name. You can give it any name. So for now, we'll just say HTTPS localhost 85 like this, geoserver WMS, right? Yeah. In here, I'll just say FAO. That's FAO WMS. Then I'll hit on save. Right, so it's giving me an error here. So I'll quickly review. Oh, yes, yes. The S is not there. So right, and it has picked that one nicely. I can also do the same for WFS. So we can switch this to WFS. Okay. And then I'll just say, let's say FAO, WFS, and we can provide it here, but this time I'll just change WFS. Okay, there. So at this point, we can search. I'll search NDVI. I can see it's here. I can search also Kakuma tanks, and you can see it's there. So I'll start with Kakuma tanks. I'll just say add. So right. So if you click on any of these points, is able to return the data associated with that particular tank. So I'm going to do some little bit of, I'm going to add some charts so that we're able to understand the statistics behind these maps. For that, just simply click on the layer like this near Kakuma tanks. You can see, you can zoom, you can select layer settings. You can look at display, you can look at style. For now, maybe the stroke color, I don't know, give it blue or red. Let's see. Let me see how red looks like. And then you can hit save. You can see it has picked it up. And then I can filter. I can open the attribute table. That's our attribute table. So I'm going to do a chart, a bar graph. Let's see. I can do tank type by capacity, maybe by output. Yeah, there are many things I can do, but I'll just start natively with this. So we have plastic tank and all those different types of tanks. So I'll say create a chart. All right, I'll say create a chart. So for this chart, I'll pick a bar chart, but feel free to pick any other type of bar chart. For the X attribute, I'm picking tank type. And then for the Y attribute, we are picking capacity. Okay, so you can see the tanks with the biggest capacity are the steel elevated, followed by the plastic, masonry, and ferrocement. Right? So yeah, and then We can say by viewport. We can say contains. And then we can hit back. And then we can configure the widget. We can pick the color also if we want something more. Maybe let me keep it blue. And then I'll just say, do we advanced options? Now, let me just keep it simple. For now, let me keep it simple. And then we configure the widget. So the widget here is trunk type, right? There, right? And then I'll simply save it. Great, so I have my widget here. I'm going to expand it and have it somewhere there. You can add a different one. So for this, we can simply save this, all right? We can simply save this. So on the three buttons, this one here, you have the option to save as. We can export, we can import. So for now, I'll just say save as. And then we can have a button here. Okay, and we can pick something here to show. I'll do something quickly. Maybe I'll just close this. I'm going to load some thumbnail just to display what I have it here. You can design your thumbnail because it's going to be used to give a preview of your map report. So I'll just say search picture. I'll fine tune this. Nothing close, so let me pick something a bit random. Now, when you're creating thumbnails, you want your thumbnails to work for you, okay? Now, like for my case, I'll just maybe come here. Maybe I can close this. Then maybe I can do something like this. Right? Then set to pick it up. Okay, I'll just do this then. We can save this. Right, and then I'll do the save again. Here. Pick that. Great. There. I'll say save. All right, so the map has been saved. If we navigate back to home, you should be able to see it here already created. So you have two things that you can do here. You can share, you can add to featured. Adding to featured gets listed here on the landing page. If I'm sharing, then like this share here, and then I pick this. So copy, and then you can open it in a different browser. Right, it's secure, it's currently secure. So I'll do something maybe like this. Sign in to access the map. There, that's your map, right? That's your map there. So yeah, you can use this to zoom in to different areas of your map, depending with what you want. And you can see we have an active zoom. So as we are zooming in, the charts are also recalculating. All right, yes. So that is it, guys. I hope you've learned something today. Hope to see you in my next demo. I'll see you in the next one.